They don't,
One.
yeah.
All right. Wednesday, January 18th, 7:01, calling the joint session of the Town of Rundle Budget Board and Board of Selectmen. Calling the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda. So we've got approval of the minutes, and we're gonna be going over the fire department, budget, board of selectmen, planning board, board of appeals, professional services, the town hall operations, planner, CEO, assessor, and then admin. Next item is establish additional meeting schedule and other business and adjournment. Do I hear any motion? Yep. Motion made and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor? All those that are opposed? One. Or was that Jason trying to vote twice?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from January 4th, 2017. I didn't see anything that was need to be corrected.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion made and seconded, all those in favor of the minutes from January 4th? All those opposed?
Abstain, I wasn't there.
We've got one abstention,
Me too, I wasn't there.
neither was Velma, so two abstentions. Motion passes for the approval. All right, we'll move on to 17-18 municipal operating budget for the fire department.
Can we hold off just on the fire department just for a minute? I just want to give you guys an update on my most recent meeting I went to. Jack was there as well. We just attended a public hearing at the county commission's held a public hearing for the Recovery and Detox Center that they're anticipating doing. The people who stood up and commented on it seemed very favorable to move that project forward. According to the county manager, what will occur now will be, there'll be a presentation to the county budget committee, and then eventually, you know, the budget committee will be making their recommendation, the county commission will be making theirs as well. What we did gather, that it seems like from the public comment that the commissioners are gonna continue to move forward with this project. And what that's going to mean for the first year for us, the county manager indicated that they would be looking to add an additional $250,000 to the budget to begin the operation of this recovery and detox center. They have $200,000 that's already been set aside, and then $250 here, and then they figure that they'll wait until almost the end of the fiscal year, and then be expecting another $250 in the following year to give it $500,000. But what that means to us is about $3,700 in additional cost over and above whatever else they do with their budget at this particular point. So just to give you a heads up, it seems like it's going to be moving forward. As I get better data, I'll certainly share it with you guys, so you know what our status will be in regards to that.
You said Rundle's portion is gonna be $3,700?
About $3,700, yeah. It's $36,6490, according to the most recent valuation, as well as the $250,000. They divvy it up per percentage based on value of all communities within York County. But everybody there seemed very favorable for it, so my thought is that it's going to move forward in some sort of form.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing, just to give you a heads up on what I've given you tonight for information, I provided, new, numbers. I gave you an overall budget sheet that's been updated as of yesterday for expense detail. And then I also updated the expense detail on the budgets that you'll be talking about tonight. So you have all that most recent expense data, as we discuss it, so you have an idea. That's probably the last one. Next, you go. And I also provided to you, some information provided to you by the chief in reference to explanations on certain parts of the budget. And finally, I given a spreadsheet in reference to capital cost. And when we get to that subject, we certainly can go over that, to give you a little more detail of the chief's thoughts as we try to move through that process. So that's all I got, Sean. Thank you.
All right. Just made a quick annotation on my paperwork here. Chief, is there anything that we should know about in regards to any major issues or anything major that's in the budget?
One of the things I had mentioned to Keith, well, I guess you want to talk budget or all three, I got three different sections here.
Well, I think you start with the fire department budget under 1301,
Yeah.
and then we'll go to the other ones after that.
Yeah, I don't have anything really big in the regular budget. One of the things I had talked to Keith about, and I think Arundel was doing it anyways, we kind of got away from it, was to, I believe when I was talking to Reno, and when they bought turnout gear, they bought a whole bunch at once, like 15 or 20 sets. And what I'd like to do is get it on a rotating basis, where we're buying 3 to 5 sets a year. So that way we're not coming in every 10 years and asking for this big amount of money to go out and buy 20 sets. Because for whatever reason, the industry's decided that sets have to be replaced every 10 years now, whether they're worn or not. So to me, it makes sense to buy them on a rotating basis. That way we're not hitting you. Because right now, a set of gear, just the turnout coat and stuff itself is $2,300. I don't want to give you my figures, I'm sorry. It's about $4 grand for a complete set of gear for an individual. So if you had to go out and buy 20 sets, that would be $80,000 all in one shot. If you buy 3 to 5 a year, then we're only spending $8 to $12,000 a year, whatever, on a rotating basis. And we're not going out and asking, coming in back and asking for 20 cents all at once, or 15 cents. The other problem is that it used to be, we'd go out and buy a set of gear, and then if somebody left, we'd have a set of gear. Well, we still hold on to them. The problem is now is when you buy a set of gear, it's measured for that person, so it fits. They don't do it like they used to, where if you happen to wear a size 9 boot, you might get a 9.5, you might get a 10. They actually buy boots that fit you, which makes sense. It's a lot safer. So we do keep the gear, but it's not quite so easy to fit. So we kind of get lucked out. So we don't have a lot of spare gear we used to have. We kind of borrow. It's a mutual aid thing. We just took on somebody new the other day, a smaller person. I called the chief of Goodman's Mills. They happen to have a set of gear that'll fit, so we borrowed it temporarily until we get a set of gear. The other thing I don't like to do, and Randall and I were talking about it with Deputy Cooper, it's a catch-22 situation, because these people have to have turnout gear in order to do their job. But I hate to go out and spend $4,000 on a set of turnout gear for somebody that just walked in off the street, because they may not make it. So now I got a set of gear that was actually designed for them, but I technically can't use them unless I'm buying gear. So we kind of try to find something that's close, that'll get them by, so we can get them into the basic class to see if they're gonna make it, break it. And then before we go and buy a set of gear. One of the things we did talk about this year is at the officers meetings, I talked to my officers, is to take people like, for instance, Jason, who's got a lot of years' experience, that when we have the fires, he's one of those guys that's trained, and we can use him on a lot of aspects, to make sure his gear is top-notch, because he's the one who uses it, and then we can kind of hand his down to the newer people as they come in to get more years out of it, so. The other thing that, I didn't put it in this year's budget, but it's one of the things I kind of wanted to throw out, is one of the other things that I feel that we should buy as part of an individual's turnout years, once they're qualified and stuff, is their own personal air mask. It's $250 to have a mask, but that way you're not using.
It's not being shared around.
Right, shared around. I mean, there is ways to clean it, but it's just, I mean, if anything, you want to have your own, it was something you're gonna breathe in on a regular basis. And for $250, it's actually cheaper to buy a mask than it is to hang over. But I think it's something we need to look at when somebody comes on, fit them, and give them their mask. They're responsible for it, they keep it clean. It goes with them as long until they leave, and then, you know, they turn it back. The good thing about that is that those are pretty standard, it's like small, medium, extra large, so those can actually be kicked back to us, we can sanitize them. So it's just one of the things that I think I'll probably throw in the next year's budget, so you'll see it again. I'm trying to just give you a heads up on a little bit. I think it's one more thing we should add to the personal safety gear. To me, it's you know, it's just common safety stuff for yourself, so.
A question for you, I haven't asked you this before, because the safety mask, your per diem guys that are working full-time with other municipalities, do they bring their own masks with them? Do they have the ability to bring their own mask?
You know, I haven't gone that far yet, Keith, because we do have a gentleman's agreement with most of the departments, and I think I brought this up last year, is that we have per diems that work in so many departments. I've got to deal with Kennybunk and with Goodens Mills. We don't all go out by, so every individual has 5 sets of gear. One department will buy a set of gear, and they allow them to use it in Arundel and Kennybunk. And what happens if Goodens Mills buy it, they come to Arundel, and it gets ruined, then Arundel's responsible for it, to replace it. And that way, we don't have somebody running around with 5 or 6 sets of gear. It's nice to have 2 sets, that way you can get wet. Which I have not pursued that, and that's a good point.
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking.
no,
because
absolutely.
If they already have a mask, then,
Yeah.
you know, if we have them bring their own, and we have a few that we have that are available in
Yeah,
the event
yeah.
that somebody needs one, but
Yeah,
if it's a personal item, maybe that's a nice way to go too, I'm not sure.
And that, the only downfall may be, again, it may be just that idea that where it is a personal breathe-in thing, they may not want to leave the station with it, but I will check into that, though, that's a good point. So, yeah, we could treat that just like mutual aid, absolutely.
So Chief, what happens with the gear? I mean, somebody goes through the process, qualifies, and then, for whatever reason, health reasons, moves out someplace else. You've got this individualized gear.
Yeah.
What happens to it?
We keep it, and then we're hoping somebody will come in that'll be close to it.
Okay.
I mean, it's fit, but it's not like a
not
tux,
very-
you know,
okay,
I mean,
yeah.
there is some flexibility, but not as much as it used to be. It used to be, when you bought a set of gear, it was like medium, small, large, extra large. Now it's done by chest size, and they measure you, and I mean, it's like buying a suit when they come in. But what they're saying, the standards are saying is that it's a safety factor if you wear something that's too big, or if you wear something that's too small. I mean, I think we've all had kids that you've given hand-me-downs and they flop around in them and, you know, and fall all over the place, and that's the problem. And
But
that-
those are departments, I mean, you guys trade information, I've got a set of gear that's within some parameters so that we.
Yep, yeah, like I said, first thing we usually do is somebody new comes off the street, if we don't happen to have anything, is I make a phone call to, you know, the local departments, do you have anything? And sometimes he might have a coat, he might have a pair of pants,
Gotcha.
and, you know, it's not, we're not giving each other's gear away, what we're doing is we're loaning it to them until they get a set of gear. But it might save any department, any one of us, from buying $4,000 worth of gear for somebody that finds out 6 months into it, you know what, I really don't wanna do this, or this is not what I thought it was gonna be. You know, we all go through it, we get, somebody comes in, they go through the training, they get good, you buy them a set of gear, and then, you know, something happens, health reasons,
Right.
whatever, it's a young couple and, you know, they decide to have kids, whatever. That's always a chance you take, but, so we still have the gear, we try to use it, or we loan it to somebody, we try to find it. But when they changed the standard where they said it was only good for 10 years, that kind of, it really hurt the smaller departments, because, I mean, 9 chances out of 10, we don't chew up a set of gear like they do in the city, you know, like Portland stuff, where they're using it all the time. So it's kind of unfortunate that they went there.
I just, now, when you're saying a set of turnout gear, what makes up a set of turnout gear?
It's, okay, it goes head to toe, it's the helmet, we provide hoods for them, they're protective hoods, and then you get the coat, the pair of pants, pair of boots, pair of gloves, and I'd like to include the mask in that, or if they have their own mask already, I think that's just something important.
How many are in this proposed budget? Where are they?
They'll be under the tools and equipment line. We planned on 3 to 5 sets, probably 3 sets this year. Tools and minor equipment will be.
So that's 3, and that's 12 of the 15,000.
Yeah.
The other thing before we move off this budget or ask any further questions, the other thing that the chief and I have been kicking around is the full-time salary for the firefighter within this position. The chief seems to think, and he's gathering data now, seems to think that the hourly rate that we're presently paying for this individual may be lower than what other people are paying. And so we want to try to do an analysis of that to ensure that we're being competitive with our wages. Present employee's been there, what, 15 years?
Yes, go to 16.
Yeah, 15, 16 years. Right now, we're paying him, if my present proposal would be $21.85. And we base that on a 44-hour work week. So it's just under $50,000 for a salary for that position. So we're getting some numbers. I mean, the ones from Kennybunk, we just threw those out. They're paying 74, 75K for a deputy chief down there, and that, we're just not gonna be anywhere near that. But we're working on that, so we may come back with a proposal to you to make an adjustment in position as a result of the data that we find. So we're still working on that.
So the $21.85 an hour, that's what he's currently making right now?
No, that's what it would be proposed to be making initially when I first put the budget together. I think he's slightly less than that, I think he's 26, something like that. But that would be my proposal at this particular point, based on just some rough data that I put together. So we're still working on that, and we'll get back to you on a better number or a better proposal based on the data that we find.
One of the local towns, I just told Keith the other day, the town of Hall has just hired a deputy chief. Their first time, they just hired, and they're starting their deputy chief at $19 an hour. And we've got a guy that, technically, I know he's not hired as a deputy chief, but he is a deputy chief, and when I'm not around, he's pretty much the next guy around. He'd be the foreman or whatever. And he's been here for 15 years, and we're paying him $21 an hour. I just think with his training and the other stuff he does, that it's a little low. I think he should be up a little higher. But it's hard to find comparable communities that are in the same, like he said, when you go to Kennybunk, it's like, no. So, but anyways.
So we'll continue to work on that, and when the board finally makes a decision, in reference to compensation, then we'll make all those adjustments, because they'll all be a trickle-down effect based on short-term, long-term disability, retirement benefits, FICA contributions, and that kind of stuff will adjust as a result of whatever we end up being there. So
The other thing in the budget here, the building maintenance is up a little bit. Keith started, I had some work done last year, and they found some issues. And I believe he's gonna try to follow up on that this year. But one of the things we did bring him over, I brought him over out of his office, is that we've got some facial boards or trim boards, I'm not sure what you wanna call them, that are rotting. Basically rotting right off the building, so we've got some maintenance and stuff that needs to be done. Rather than, I think Jason brought it up a couple of years ago, that we really need to make sure we stay on top of that with the building to make it last. So there's a little extra money in that to try to catch up with some of the minor.
They got things straightened out with the ventilation, with getting the exhaust, and the engines and everything when they're parked.
Yeah, no, the exhaust fan and stuff, everything, the guy come in, and I had him come in, and he took all the information down and got all this stuff up, and I never heard from him. So I gotta try to find somebody else, so.
Well,
But still the grants and stuff.
The other day I was there and the exhaust was working.
Yeah.
And I could smell the diesel fumes outside when I went to get in my truck.
Yeah, the
so-
fan is working,
It's
so the big
functioning
fan, so,
to a certain-
the big fan, it's not the tubes that hook direct to it, but we do have a big fan that they fix the holes and stuff all around. I don't know did we talk about that last time?
No, there's a fan in the rear of the building.
Right, so as soon as you,
Right, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, that was all rotted out, that whole wall was rotted, so we had the wall all completely rebuilt, the fan reattached to the existing new wall, and it functions. I'm not sure how it works, if it's a manual,
no.
or if it comes on automatically,
Yeah, it goes on automatically.
Based on-
Provided you don't shut the master off.
based on temperature, is it part of, or
No, it's when the
fumes?
doors go up, I think, isn't it? Do
Okay.
you know, Jason?
It's a timer. yeah.
Timer, yeah, when the doors
You
go
can
up,
set
then
it.
Okay.
it runs so long and then shuts off,
All right.
so. The only downside, and there's a lot of places that have that, similar to that, the only downside to it is obviously the wintertime, it sucks all the heat right out of the building, but whereas if you have the tubes and stuff, but those run 50,000-60,000 too, and this is fairly inexpensive, so. But, and I'm not a carpenter, and I don't pretend to be, but, Randall and I were looking at the shingles on it the other day, and they're looking a little funky. I don't know if they're 20-year shingles or they were 25 when they were put on. I think the station was built in '98, so, I mean, it's something we're gonna have to look at.
You'll see in the proposal, the capital equipment proposal that I put 15,000 aside for the next, starting 18, I think, 18.
Not until 2020.
Uh,
Am I looking at that right?
Oh, did I put it out to 220? I mean, look.
Maybe I'm not reading it right. I see a $45,000 tag, but then incrementally it doesn't start until 2020. That was gonna be my question.
That's what I did, I pushed it to 220, yeah.
How much is in the building maintenance, or capital, I should say? Is that number here?
It would be under a sweep account if we had any money that was contributed to that. Let me just take a quick look. We don't have any,
So I'm seeing station repairs, 45,000,
I guess.
but then I don't.
Yeah,
so
we
that
have-
doesn't start
Yeah,
till
station
2020.
repairs, yeah.
we have nothing in any sweep account at this time to cover it. So, in essence, I don't know where the roof is at this point, but I thought that I'd take a stab at it and know we need about 45K to repair the roof if in fact it goes bad. We have no leaks right now, so I pushed it to 2020 to start putting aside 15,000 and then work up from that point 3 years out, and then we'd have enough to perhaps take care of it. So,
That we should get the 3 more years.
I'd have to-
Yeah,
Yeah.
my only fear is there are some issues with that building though that I really think should be addressed before 2020.
okay,
And I'm speaking from strictly living in it.
yeah, we're looking
Yeah,
at,
no, right, absolutely, yeah.
well, again, we'll have some more of the sill work done. We know we've got some outside fascia boards that need to be replaced. We'll take care of that. We'll continue to do some of these within the budget, scope of the budget that we have. Painting, we've got some exterior painting that'll have to be done. Right now, I think this year we have 9,000 that was put aside, and we spent 3654 to date, so, and we're looking for another $9,000 contribution next year. So, we've got some money there to start taking care of some of those issues.
So that 45 is in addition to what we're,
Right.
oh, all right.
The 45 would be a capital cost to try to take care of that roof.
Gotcha.
I'd have to defer to like somebody like Jason's stuff. Is any benefit to doing a steel roof on that with compared to shingles, or what are your thoughts on that cost wise?
Right now, the cost between shingles and steel roof, it's pretty much, they're pretty even.
Steel is like forever, is there a time?
Yeah, it's 50 years, you get 40 on the paint, 50 on the material, but.
I just didn't, I mean, I put it on my house
Right,
personally, but I
yeah.
don't know how that would work on the commercial. I don't know where the slide off would be, I don't think there's any close enough where the slide off can get anybody, you can get it, so. It would be something just for topic conversation. It would have to be a contract, it would have to
Yeah,
give the
and the
information on
thing
it.
is also with steel roofing, because it does expand and contrast, you don't wanna have too long of runs. So if you're looking at running at like 25 feet, I'm not sure what from the pitch, the top of the roof
I
down to the
I don't think,
eaves,
yeah, I don't think it's
how long it
25
is.
feet, I don't think.
That's one of the things to keep in mind though.
Yeah, so, I just know, I know in this type of climate stuff, a lot of places are going steel roofs, so. But it would have to be a contract with it.
I've had a couple of hangars over the years which were 80 feet wide, so I mean, from the peak down, you've got a 40-foot slope, and we never had any trouble with steel.
That's our limit, is 40, that's all we can get delivered, is 40 feet. That's
40
all, I
feet.
think they'll let them haul it on the road,
Yeah.
is 40. But we've never had, I got 32 footers on my house, and I've never had any issues.
Now, if you can get a, 50-year guarantee, it's a hell of a lot better than 20 or 25, that you
Wow,
can get
yeah.
a shingle.
Especially if it's comparable to shingles, so.
Yeah.
Plus it, you know, I mean.
We'd have to
when
take some precautionary measures. The only downside to steel is when that snow goes,
Yeah, it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So some of those exits that are on the side, you know, you'd want to put some
Dog
buffers
house.
to slow that
So
snow
that
down.
when
They
the-
got snow guards that you can.
Dog house or
When
something.
the town of, when Kennebunk Savings Bank, we did their roof, they put all steel
Yeah.
on it, and they put the catches, whatever they need
Yeah.
in the strategic areas, so,
Some of that stuff gets pricey.
yeah. Yeah,
Well, I know when you start talking 512 pitches and stuff, they put roofs on, they like the steel, because I had 1212 on the front, but I had like 12.5 on the back, and it didn't always slide off, but once I put a metal roof on, it
Yeah.
cleans the snow off in the wintertime.
What's the age of the current?
98.
It must be,
98,
yeah,
I believe.
So it's 18 years.
yeah.
Yeah, so assuming they were 20-year singles, I don't know if they were 20,
Do
25.
we know anything about the warranty on the shingles?
I'd have to look at some of the documents that were created when it was put out the
It's
bid.
probably a 25-year shingle.
I would say it was probably 25
It
years.
didn't look like to me there was a lot of blow-offs and stuff, but you know how they kind of bubble up or whatever, it looks like somebody threw a whole bunch of rocks on them and stuff. They're starting to, they're right out in the sun and everything, so I mean, they are starting to look kind of worn. So, but I didn't see a lot of missing ones, but I didn't go up on the roof either, I was trying to look at it.
You're not
from the
leaking
ground.
it.
No,
That's
there's
my-
no
That's
leaks.
what I'm
in
looking
the-
at.
Yeah.
If they're
Well,
not
yeah.
leaking, they're still working, so.
I kinda wanna catch it before it starts leaking.
Well, I'd like to
That's-
put some money aside.
No,
too,
no,
for-
I understand, so.
Should we bump this back? I mean, if it's, as the chief and Jason described it, should we start putting money away now, if anticipating we're gonna need 45 grand in 3 years?
Well, I think before we do that, again, I look at the capital project, it really is as a planning document, we can look at that. But this will give us an opportunity, maybe get somebody to give us a price for a new roof. And then we'll figure out what that price is, and then, we can evaluate it from there.
I just want, if in 3 years we need a roof, but we don't start putting away the money,
Right, that would be up
we're
to
up against it, so
Yeah.
maybe we should start doing it earlier and just have it for whenever it's required.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a thought, I mean.
Okay.
I think that's what Jason was kinda going, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, let me, if you don't mind, let me ask Jason where he is a contract. something like a roof like that, would we better off, I mean, there's people out there, that's what they do, they
Yeah.
just do roofs. Would we better off to go try to get somebody like that just does roofs, or would we, I personally, I'd like to keep it local in
Right.
town if we can. I think that's just a nice way, but obviously I don't wanna spend $20,000 of the taxpayers' money just because they're in town. I was just wondering which way would be better for us to look at when we get that.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
what's your
using a
thoughts
few
on
guys now that are pretty reasonably priced. I'm a shopaholic when it comes to that stuff, I beat the guys down and,
Well, I mean, I know, I'm sure.
Any guy you like.
You know, I'm sure you.
there's a couple roofers in town that are,
I'm sure you as a contractor, you'll do roofs, but, I mean, is it cheaper to have somebody that tests what they do?
Yeah.
They come in and do it and they're gone, and,
yeah.
you know, or is it better off to get a general contractor to come in that does a little bit of everything? I
A
mean,
roof like that, you're gonna want a legit, you know, guys with insurances,
Yeah,
guys that are
right.
paying workers' comp. It's a commercial building,
Okay, but
you
just,
know, there's a few fly-by-nighters in town that, yes, they're cheap, they'll do it for much cheaper than the guy who, but,
Well, when we get to that point, we can, I was just curious for my own personal.
But I'll look at I wanna try to get a number, and, you
Right.
know, if we can get a number, then, you know, I'll do a little more research on the roof, and if you see if it's 25-year shingles. If we can get somebody to look at it, maybe they can give us some evaluation of what they think it is. That may push that number back. 45 was just a guess on my part, I'm not quite sure how.
I'm just saying, whatever the number is, whether we should start thinking about putting the money away now, because, I mean, I don't know anything about roofs or shingles, but I've had them replaced, and if they're exposed to the sun, I don't care how many years they give you as a warranty, they
Yeah.
get destroyed
Yeah.
fast.
You do.
And there are alternatives, you know, we don't have to go with a steel roof, it may be
No, right.
more economic to,
But
stay with what we have.
Yeah,
Maybe a
absolutely.
longer life shingle.
Yeah. No, it was just an option, that's all,
Yeah,
you know, so
yeah.
it's, you know, there's all sorts of options out there.
Once we have a better handle on what the expected remaining life is, then we can plan.
The other thing is, I think the siding over there, I think it looks like it's clapboard, I think. Do you-
yeah, just, yeah.
Yeah, do you know, it's probably cheaper to paint it, but is there a point that we should consider replacing it with vinyl or something, or?
You know, I don't know if they use cedar clapboards or if they did
Yeah,
pine.
I don't know, it looks like they painted on rather than stained them, so I can't tell if that's something else to look at down the road, so. I mean,
I can
vinyl's
take a
supposed to be
peek at
good
it,
for
I'll
quite
take a
few
look at it
years.
and I can tell right away if it's,
Just send me an email or something, so I.
Yeah, just an option to think of down the road. I don't know how long, if vinyl has a life expectancy to it on and on, so I know it's easy to maintain because you don't have to paint it. So,
Is there anything else you know?
I don't think there's anything big in there. I think, there was an add in, and, actually Deputy Cooper couldn't be here, but there is a increase in the rescue supply line, because, we're being told that the drugs and stuff that the hospital we've been able to swap out with the hospital, is no longer gonna happen, we're actually gonna have to buy it. So, we were gonna need a little extra money up front to take care of that, we don't know exactly where that's gonna go. I believe Deputy Cooper does most of the stuff as far as the EMS side of it goes, and I guess, I think he said when he talked to us that they're trying to work to get this all through the pharmacy at the hospital at a really good rate, so that the cost would be down, but, and yes, I would assume this would get passed on to the insurance companies at some point in time, but there's gotta be some upfront money to purchase it originally to replace it, because not everybody has the insurance or whatever, so.
Yeah, when I met with the chief and Deputy Cooper, we bumped it by 10% at this particular point, within the budget, scope of the budget. As I understand, in the past, there was a lot of abuse of people taking more material than they actually needed from the hospital, and the hospital administration finally said, we can't sustain that anymore. Not saying it was us, but every municipality or every ambulance service that was going there, probably has a little skin in the game here, so, I think that's why we're seeing some sort of increase there.
I'd like to see us get prices on that stuff on somebody other than the hospital, rather than just going in and take whatever price they give us.
No,
Not- Not that I distrust
Right,
hospitals,
we-
but.
Actually,
Right now, we
You
do-
get within 100
Right,
feet
right
of
now
one,
we do
you wind up
business
with a
with-
bill for $5,000.
Right now, we do business with Boundtree.
right, we don't
Boundtree
actually,
provides us our materials from us, and they're pretty well the standard bearer for everybody that is getting EMS supplies.
I think Deputy Cooper's thought on the hospital buy was that all the departments in the area were gonna get involved and they were gonna bulk buy, so that they were gonna be somewhat cheaper, but we do know, we did find out, I don't know if he's told you before we met, is that the hospital actually buys some things from Boundtree, because it's cheaper than they can buy it, so. But, as point taken, but, so, I mean, I think we'll shop around anyway, so, maybe we can buy from Canada, I don't know.
So this is estimating at this point about a $5,000 increase.
Right.
The only line item that's going down is workman's comp. That's good news, but why?
I wouldn't hold that number as being sacred to me right now. I just got new numbers across my desk today, so I'll be revisiting that to see where that's going to be. But I do know that we got a large, because of our index that workers' comp figures, our ability to take care of our employees was very high, so we were gonna get a reduction. But I just need to check that number again, and that number will actually be filtered back in when I do the total cost for all of our employees. That number will be in there, so.
Well, just looking at the past 2 years, 2016 budgeted 5150, actually spent out was 9806.
Right.
And then so far for this year, it was budgeted 7050, and have already spent 7600.
Right.
So that 57 looks to be.
Right. That number was put there by me, and if I have to look you in the eye right now, I can't tell you why I came up with 5736.
Does
Will they happy with any low numbers you have?
does a fluctuation of employees, number of employees, does it have, how many employees does it take to, or does it not?
No, it's based on,
It's based on salary or something?
well, it's based on position you hold, the activity involved in that position. So say the administration, workers' comp, the ratio, the index to calculate it is a lot less than it would be for our public works folks. So then they take the overall salary, and then they put that condition factor to it and give us a number.
See, other than that, I think the other rest of the budget's pretty much straight across the board, minimal fluctuations as far as the operating budget goes.
Next one for you would be 1303, the volunteer call company.
I had asked Keith if we could maybe provide an increase in the hourly rate for the volunteers, because I know we don't have a lot of them, but they still save us a lot of money, because we don't have to put on more per diems, more full-timers or whatever. And he came back with, he actually came back with a range, because I believe it was Selectman Neto brought up last year about maybe increasing pay by training levels or experience or whatever. So Keith has given me some fluctuation in there a little bit to do that, by coming up with some type of a scale, which I will get back to the budget board. What I have now is I have actually acquired one that Kenny Bunk uses, and I know that I need to get a hold of Chief Lefevre and Gorham, because they have an extensive one in there that's based on training levels and stuff. They pay a lot better than, well, not better, but more than we do, but they've been doing it for a while, so. So that's the reason for the increase there, is I think we went, you gave the per diems and the full-timers in the last couple of years raises, and the call force didn't get anything, if I remember correctly. So
do have a question on the payroll on volunteer.
Mhm.
What the budget shows going from 30,000 to 18,000. How many people are involved in that change? What do we have now, or what are we planning?
It fluctuates, it's probably about 12 to 15 people. And a lot of those people, as I tried to explain the last time, those people have some longevity with us, and they're still willing to be within the call company, so I thought it was prudent to provide a range of pay that we will establish, and then we can provide them. So if you got a guy that's been there 10 years, and the new guy was making the same amount as the guy who's been there 10 years, the guy at 10 years may be coming to all the training functions, and he'd be coming to all the activities that we really would like them to attend, so I thought maybe it would be appropriate to change it. Then I lowered it, and I set it on an average of $1,600, 1,600 hours at $11.44 an hour as an average. And then came up with the 18,304, because we are seeing a decrease in the call folks that we have that are attending, and we're seeing a change from the call force to the per diem folks that are picking up more of that financing for us and that coverage, calls and so on and so forth. So.
I think one of the other things that was brought up last year too was you take, if I was a per diem and I lived in Arundel and I was a paramedic and I was making $17 an hour, and then when I'm not on per diem shift and I go to a call and now all of a sudden I'm making $10 an hour and I'm at the same level doing the same job, it's kind of a, you know, we can't afford to pay the common top dollar all the time, but there's no motivation as far as,
Right.
you know, why get out, you know, I just got paid $17